The soldier hid a secret so hot it could end his career, but I couldn't look away. The first time I saw him, it hit like a gut punch from a ghost I didn't know I was chasing. Rain hammered the tin roof of that dive bar in Fayetteville, North Carolina, the kind of place where soldiers drown their ghosts in cheap whiskey and forgotten wars. I was nursing a flat beer, my notebook splayed open on the scarred oak counter, scribbling notes on a story about Fort Bragg's endless cycle of deployment and despair. That's when the door swung open with a groan, letting in a blast of cool, pine-scented air that cut through the stale smoke like a knife. He stood there, silhouetted against the neon buzz of the parking lot lights, water dripping from the brim of his black ball cap pulled low. 6'2", easy, shoulders broad enough to carry the weight of 100 missions. His camo jacket clinging to his frame like it was painted on. He shook off the rain, boots thudding heavy on the gritty floor, and every head in the room turned, just for a split second, before snapping back to their drinks. Soldiers like him owned the shadows here. Civilians like me were just passing through. Couldn't look away. His skin was a warm mahogany, glistening under the bar's dim yellow glow, and when he slid onto the stool 2 seats down, the faint scent of wet earth and gun oil wafted over. He ordered a Jack and Coke, voice low and gravelly, like thunder rolling distant over the Appalachians. "Make it quick," he added to the bartender, fingers drumming once on the wood. Long, calloused fingers that spoke of triggers pulled in the dead of night. I should have kept my head down, focused on the parade of broken men I'd come to interview for my piece in the Atlantic. But something in the way his jaw tightened, the subtle flex of his neck as he swallowed, pulled me in. "Rough night," I ventured, my voice steadier than I felt, heart pounding like a bass drum in my chest. He glanced over, dark eyes piercing through the haze. Eyes that held storms I'd only read about in Hemingway. A flicker of surprise, then a half-smile that didn't reach them. "Every night's rough when you're counting down to sand." His words hung there, heavy with the unspoken. Afghanistan, Iraq, pick your poison. The bar's jukebox kicked in with some old Springsteen, Born to Run, the guitar wail slicing through the murmur of laughter and clinking glasses. We talked, or rather I pried and he parried. Names Marcus Hale, 28, Staff Sergeant, 82nd Airborne. 2 tours under his belt, a silver star pinned to his dress blues somewhere in a footlocker. Grew up in the projects of Baltimore, where the harbor lights promised escape. He clawed his way to through ROTC and sheer grit. He laughed, once short and bitter, when I asked about home. "Home's wherever the ruck sits, man. Right now it's this stool." I told him about myself. Alex Rivera, 27, freelance journalist out of DC, chasing stories that bled truth onto the page. Mexican-American roots from LA, but the East Coast had sanded down my edges into something sharper. We bonded over the bullshit of it all, the way the military chewed up souls and spat out husks, the way words could wound deeper than shrapnel. His laugh came easier then, a rumble that vibrated through me, warm like bourbon sliding down. 2 hours blurred into 3. The rain eased to a drizzle, tapping Morse code on the windows. He leaned in closer, elbow brushing mine, and I caught the faint spice of his cologne mixed with sweat, real, raw, intoxicating. "You got a way of seeing through the crap," he said, voice dropping low, eyes holding mine a beat too long. My pulse thrummed in my ears, a warning I ignored. When he stood to leave, that jacket slung over one shoulder, he paused. "Watch yourself out there, Alex. Fayetteville eats writers for breakfast." His hand grazed my arm. Accidental, maybe? An electricity shot up my spine. I watched him melt into the night, taillights of his beat-up Ford F-150 fading into the mist. That night, alone in my motel room with the AC humming like a dying fan, I replayed it all. The way his lips curved when he talked about his little sister back home, the shadow that crossed his face at mentions of command. And that touch, God, that touch. I knew then, with a certainty that scared me shitless, that I'd stumbled into something dangerous. Marcus Hale wasn't just a story. He was a fire, banked low but ready to roar. Little did I know, his secret burned hotter than any desert sun, and it would drag us both under if we weren't careful. The next morning dawned sticky, the kind of southern heat that clings like regret. I was back at the base's public affairs office, badging in for interviews with fresh-faced privates who recited lines like they were reading from a script. "Service with honor," one kid said. 19 if he was a day, eyes wide with that mix of fear and fire. But my mind wandered, sketching Marcus's profile in the margins of my notepad. By afternoon, I was nursing coffee in the USO lounge, flipping through deployment stats, when my phone buzzed. Unknown number. "Hey, writer boy. Meet me at the river trail. 1800. Don't be late." No name, but I knew. Heart slamming against my ribs, I grabbed my keys. The Cape Fear River wound lazy through the pines, sunlight dappling the water like scattered gold. He was there, leaning against a cypress knee, arms crossed over that chest that strained his PT shirt. No uniform today, just jeans faded at the knees, boots scuffed from trails unseen. "Thought you might bail," he said, pushing off the tree with a grin that lit something feral in me. "Wouldn't miss it." We walked, the crunch of gravel underfoot sinking with our breaths. He talked about Baltimore summers, crab boils on the stoop with his mom before cancer took her. I shared stories of my dad's taqueria in Echo Park, the sizzle of carne asada and the ache of leaving it all behind. Laughter came easy, echoing off the water, but under it simmered tension, a current pulling us closer. We stopped at a bend where the river widened, sitting on a fallen log slick with moss. His knee pressed against mine, deliberate now, and neither of us moved. "This place," he murmured, gesturing to the lazy flow. "It's the only quiet I get. No orders, no eyes." His voice cracked just a hair, and I turned, catching the vulnerability in his gaze. I reached out, fingers tracing the line of his jaw, rough with evening stubble. He froze, breath hitching, a sharp inhale that echoed my own racing pulse. Then, slow as dawn, he leaned in. Our lips met, tentative at first, tasting of river mist and unspoken need. His hand cupped the back of my neck, pulling me deeper, and the world narrowed to the heat of him, the soft groan that escaped his throat. When we broke apart, foreheads pressed together, his eyes searched mine. "This is not smart for either of us." The weight of it landed like a sandbag. Don't ask, don't tell might be history on paper, but in the barracks it lingered like smoke. "I know," I whispered, thumb brushing his lip. But in that moment, with the river whispering secrets and his heart hammering against mine, I couldn't look away, and neither could he. Days blurred into a rhythm that felt stolen, fragile as glass. Mornings, I'd shadow him on the base, watching PT runs where he led his squad through mud-slick obstacle courses, his commands barking sharp over the grunts and splashes. Sweat poured down his temples, soaking his bandana, and I'd catch him glancing my way, a quick flash of heat that made my stomach twist. Evenings were ours. We'd sneak to that river trail, or hole up in my motel room with takeout from Mama Leone's. Greasy ribs that stained our fingers, the tangy sauce mixing with the salt of our skin. Laughter filled the spaces between, but so did the sighs. The long, weary exhales when he'd talk about the guys in his platoon, the ones who'd never understand. One night, tangled in sheets that smelled of him, leather and pine, we lay there, his head on my chest, fingers tracing lazy circles on my hip. The fan whirred overhead, stirring the humid air. My first time. It was with a buddy in basic, he confessed, voice muffled against my skin. Kissed in the showers after lights out. Thought it was the end of the world when he freaked. I held him tighter, the vulnerability cracking something in me. It's not the end. Not anymore. But even as I said it, doubt gnawed. His career hung by threads of discretion. Promotions, deployments, the brotherhood that could turn on him in a heartbeat. The conflict brewed slow, like a storm gathering over the Piedmont. My editor called, pushing for the peace. Get me the human angle, Alex. The hidden costs. I pitched Marcus, anonymized of course, but the words stuck in my throat. How could I write his truth without shattering it? Then came the hook that yanked us under. A leaked email from command. Rumors swirling about conduct unbecoming. Eyes turning suspicious in the mess hall. Marcus came to me that night, face ashen under the porch light. Rain starting up again in fat, angry drops. Someone saw us. At the bar. His voice was raw, edged with panic that mirrored my own. We stood there, inches apart, the downpour soaking us through. His hands fisted in my shirt, pulling me close. I can't lose this. The army. It's all I got. The kiss that followed was desperate, teeth clashing, bodies pressing like we could fuse and forget. But as thunder rolled, I knew the secret was outgrowing us. Hot as it burned, it could torch everything. And still, I couldn't look away. The days after that kiss in the rain felt like walking a tightrope over a canyon. Wind whipping from both sides. Marcus pulled back, just enough to breathe. Texts turning curt. Meetings at the trail swapped for late-night drives to nowhere. Windows down. Country radio crooning low about lost loves and dusty roads. Gotta play it cool, he'd mutter. Knuckles white on the wheel of that F-150. The engine's rumble vibrating through us like a shared pulse. I got it. Intellectually. The military's repeal of Don't Ask in 2011 was a victory on CNN. But down here in the red clay heartland, it was whispers in the latrine, side eyes over MREs. One wrong glance, one rumor with teeth, and his starched uniform could unravel into discharge papers. Still, the ache gnawed at me, sharp as the scent of diesel from passing semis on I-95. I threw myself into the story, interviewing vets in VA waiting rooms that smelled of antiseptic and despair. An older sergeant, grizzled with a prosthetic leg, leaned in close over his styrofoam coffee. Loved a man once back in Nam, kept it buried deeper than the bodies. His sigh rattled, long and defeated, eyes distant like he was seeing ghosts in the linoleum. It echoed Marcus's fears, fueling my notes until my fingers cramped. One humid Tuesday, I cornered him after a briefing in the base library, shelves groaning under dog-eared Tom Clancy's. He was in full battle rattle, fatigues crisp, beret tucked under his arm, flipping through a field manual like it held answers to prayers. "Alex," he said, not looking up, voice tight as a tripwire. "Not here. Please." I stepped closer, the air between us thick with the musty paper smell and unspoken heat. "Just coffee. Off base. Neutral ground." His eyes met mine then, stormy and conflicted, jaw working like he was chewing glass. A beat, too. Then a nod. Sharp. "Starbucks on Skibbo. 1,400. The drive there was a blur of strip malls and fast food arches. My Prius humming against the growl of his truck in my rearview. Inside, the place buzzed with soccer moms and high school kids. The hiss of the espresso machine a white noise shield. We claimed a corner booth, lattes steaming between us. His black, mine loaded with enough foam to drown doubts. He talked deployments first, safe territory. The crunch of boots on Afghan gravel, the metallic tang of fear in the air during night patrols. Laughter slipped in when he described his platoon's botched attempt at Thanksgiving turkey, feathers flying like shrapnel. But under it, tension coiled, his boot nudging mine under the table. Accidental, then not. "Why journalism?" he asked suddenly, stirring his cup, the spoon clinking soft. "What's a city boy like you doing knee-deep in our mud?" I leaned back, the vinyl booth creaking. Stories save people. Or at least, they make sense of the chaos. Pausing, I met his gaze. Like yours. The weight you carry, it's not just the ruck. His breath caught, a hitch barely audible over the barista's call. Fingers brushed mine across the table, electric, fleeting. You see too much, Alex. The words hung, laced with hunger and hazard. That night, he showed up at my motel unannounced, knocking soft like a secret. The door swung open to him, drenched from a sudden squall, t-shirt plastered to every ridge of muscle. No words, just his mouth on mine, urgent, tasting of rain and resolve. We stumbled inside, door clicking shut, the world narrowing to the bed's sagging mattress and the gasp of sheets tangling. His hands roamed, mapping me like terrain. Calluses scraping my sides, thumbs circling nipples until I arched, a low moan escaping. God, Marcus. I breathed, nails digging into his back, the salt of his skin on my tongue. He moved with a soldier's precision, deliberate, devastating. Kisses trailing fire down my chest, hips grinding in rhythm to our ragged breaths. When he entered me, slow and searing, it was like coming home to a war zone. Terrifying, exhilarating. His groan vibrated against my neck, deep and broken. Can't lose you, he whispered, thrusts building to a crescendo that shook the walls, our bodies slick, synchronized. After, we lay spent, his arm heavy across my waist, the AC's hum mingling with our slowing hearts. But dawn brought reality, his phone buzzing with a sergeant's summons, the base's siren wailing distant. He dressed in silence, boots laced with mechanical clicks, pausing at the door to press a kiss to my forehead. This fire, it's gonna burn us both. The rumor mill churned faster after that. Whispers followed him in the chow hall. Hale's got a civilian tail. His CO pulled him aside during range time, voice booming over the crack of M4S. I caught it from afar, binoculars from a hillock, heart clenching at the way Marcus's shoulders squared, defiant. My editor loved the angle, the hidden toll of love in camo, but demanded names. Anonymize? Bullshit. Give me blood. I stalled, fingers hovering over keys in my laptop's glow, the cursor blinking like an accusation. Then the blow landed. A text from Marcus, 0200. Pack up. They're watching. Meet at the river. Last time. Panic surged, bitter as bile. I threw clothes into a duffel, tires screeching out of the lot under sodium lamps that buzzed like angry hornets. The river was black ink under moonlight, frogs croaking a mournful chorus. He waited in shadows, duffel at his feet, face etched with lines that aged him a decade. Investigations starting. Frat rules, they think I'm screwing with unit cohesion. His laugh was hollow, echoing off the water. If they only knew. I pulled him into my arms, his body rigid then melting, a shudder running through him. Come with me, DC. We figure it out. Rain started again, light patter on leaves. Can't. Re-ups in 6 months. Pension, Sis's college. His voice broke, hands fisting my shirt. The kiss was salt-tanged, desperate, thunder rumbling approval. As he drove away, taillights swallowed by mist, I stood there, soaked and hollow. The secret had cracked us open, hot and unrelenting. But in the quiet, with the river's murmur mocking my resolve, I knew one truth. I couldn't walk away. Not from him. Not from this. Weeks stretched like taffy, each day a pull between duty and desire. I holed up in DC, pounding out the piece. Carefully veiled, Marcus a shadow named Sergeant Ellis. It hit Stan's digital first, racking views, comments flooding with Lovewin's hashtags and vet backlash. Fags in foxholes? Recipe for disaster. My inbox exploded. Threats, praise, a letter from a closeted airman in Ramstein. But nothing from him. Silence, thicker than fog. Then, a knock at my Georgetown row house, 1100 on a crisp fall Saturday. Coffee brewing, jazz on the radio, Miles Davis's trumpet wailing melancholy. I opened the door to FedEx, a battered envelope inside. His handwriting, blocky and sure. Read this, then decide. Pages spilled out, journal entries, scrawled in moleskine, ink smudged like tears. Nights in the Hindu Kush, stars cold overhead, dreaming of hands that weren't his own. Baltimore boy, wrestling demons in church basements, first crush on the track coach's son. And me, Alex's eyes, windows to a world without walls. Terrifies me, saves me. Tucked in the back, a letter. Investigation cleared. No proof. But I can't hide anymore. Meet me in more. If you still can look at me. Heart slamming, I grabbed keys. Metro to Union Station, Amtrak rattling north. Baltimore's harbor gleamed under gulls' cries. The air briny and alive. He waited at the aquarium steps, civilian chinos and a hoodie, looking smaller without the uniform's armor. We walked the promenade, hands brushing, then linking bold, in daylight. Resigned my commission, he said, voice steady. VA counseling gig lined up. Time to live, not just survive. Relief crashed over me, mingled with pride, the wind whipping our laughter. At Fells Point, we ducked into a crab shack, mallets cracking shells, Old Bay spice burning our throats. His foot hooked mine under the table, eyes sparkling with that storm-cleared sky. That night, in a Harborview hotel, windows fogged from our heat, we reclaimed each other. Slow this time, exploratory, fingers interlacing, breaths sinking like waves. I love you, he murmured against my skin, the words of vow seismic. I know, I whispered back, pulling him closer. The secret, once ablaze, now warmed us like hearthfire. But stories don't end neat. Life's messier, cinematic in its cuts. Months later, at his sister's graduation, poli-sci degree, summa cum laude, we sat in the auditorium, his hand in mine under the seats. Whispers from aunts, stares from old neighbors. He squeezed, unflinching. Leching tok. The drive home, windows down, Bruce on the stereo again, felt like victory. Marcus at the wheel, my head on his shoulder at stops. The road unspooled endless hours. Yet doubt lingered, a shadow in the rear view. His past deployments haunted dreams, nightmares of sand and screams, waking him slick with sweat. I'd hold him then, murmuring nonsense till dawn, the city's hum our lullaby. One spring evening, Pride March in D.C., rain-slick streets thrumming with drums and cheers. We marched, arm in arm, rainbows on our sleeves. A vet buddy from Bragg spotted us, clapped Marcus's back. Knew you had balls, Hale. Welcome to the real fight. Laughter bubbled, free. But later, in our bed, now shared, sheets scented with his soap, we talked futures. Kids? Maybe foster. Build something solid. His sigh was content, fingers tracing my spine. Yeah, with you. The hook that started it all, the bar, the rain, the secret had reeled us to shore. Hot as it burned, it forged us stronger. And in his arms, with the world's noise fading, I finally looked forward. No more hiding, just us, unbreakable. Life with Marcus settled into a groove that felt dangerously normal, like we'd always been this. Two guys navigating DC's chaos, his VA office in Anacostia humming with vet stories, my freelance gig stacking up in a home office stacked with dog-eared paperbacks. Mornings started with coffee brewed strong, black for him, the hiss of the machine blending with his low hum of some R&B tune from his phone. He'd lean against the counter, towel slung low on hips post-shower, droplets tracing paths down his chest that I'd follow with my eyes, heat pooling low. Stop staring, Rivera, he'd tease, that grin flashing white against his skin, pulling me in for a kiss that tasted of mint and promise. We'd linger there, hands wandering, until the world intruded. His commute to sessions where he'd unpack traumas with the patience of a bomb tech, me to coffee shops for interviews that peeled back layers of policy bullshit. But normalcy was a thin veneer over the cracks. His nightmares didn't fade. They'd jolt him upright at 3 a.m., sheets twisted, breath coming in gasps like he'd surfaced from drowning. The first time it happened in our DuPont Circle apartment, I woke to his silhouette by the window, city lights painting him silver. "Sand," he muttered, voice hoarse. The blast. Felt it again. I slid from bed, floor cool underfoot, wrapping arms around him from behind. His body trembled, rigid then yielding, the scent of his sweat sharp in the air. "You're here," I whispered, lips to his shoulder. "Harbor lights, not desert." He turned, burying face in my neck, a shuddering exhale warming my skin. We sank to the rug, bodies entwining slow, reassuring, kisses soft, hands gentle maps of reassurance. No rush, just presence. His moans quiet confessions as we moved together, dawn creeping pink through blinds. After tangled and sated, he traced my jaw. "You ground me, Alex, like nothing else." The vulnerability in his eyes, raw, trusting, stitched something in me. Work pulled its own strings. My piece on Marcus's world evolved into a book proposal, Shadows in Camo, Gay Vets and the Fight for Visibility. Agents buzzed, but revisions meant digging deeper, calling his old platoon mates, voices crackling over lines from bases in Kuwait.
Hale?
Solid as they come. Kept us alive in that shitstorm 09. Pauses heavy. Then, heard he went civil. Good for him. Missed the bastard. One call shattered the calm. His ex-buddy from Basic, the shower-kiss ghost, now a major in Quantico. "Heard you're writing about Marcus. Tell him. I was a coward back then. Regret it every day." The line went dead, leaving static and a hollow in my gut. Marcus took it in stride when I told him over Thai takeout that night, spring rolls steaming on the coffee table, the spice burning our lips. "Water under the bridge," he said, but his fork paused midair, eyes distant. Later, in bed, he rolled toward me, leg hooking over mine. "Make me forget," he murmured, voice rough. I did, with lips and hands, the room filling with our symphony. Gasps, skin slapping soft, his nails raking my back in crescendos. Release came shuddering, his cry muffled in my shoulder, bodies slick and spent. Summer hit like a fever, DC's humidity turning sidewalks to saunas. We escaped to Ocean City weekends, his sister's beater Impala rattling down 95, windows blasting Motown. Boardwalk nights. Cotton candy sticking to fingers. Ferris wheel creaks overhead as we kissed at the top. City sprawl twinkling below. "This is us," he said, wind tousling his hair. Real. No hiding. But hiding's shadow loomed. A VA colleague cornered him after a group session. Smirking, voice low. "Saw your boy in the paper. Careful, Hale. Some folks don't forget." Marcus laughed it off, but came home tight-jawed, punching the heavy bag in our basement till knuckles split. I found him there, sweat-drenched, breaths heaving in rhythm to thuds. Dropping my bag, I crossed the dim space, the tang of leather and effort thick. "Hey!" I said soft, hands on his hips from behind. He stilled, head dropping, a groan escaping as I kissed his neck. We didn't make it upstairs. Against the wall, clothes shed in a frenzy. His shirt yanked overhead, my jeans pooling at ankles, the bag chain rattling like applause. Urgent, primal, him lifting me, legs wrapping his waist, thrusts deep and driving, our moans echoing off concrete. "Mine," he growled, teeth grazing my collarbone, the possessiveness igniting me further. Climax hit like waves crashing, leaving us slumped, laughter bubbling through pants. "Love you, idiot," I gasped, forehead to his. Right back, writer. His smile, genuine now, eased the knot in my chest. Fall brought change. A book deal inked over lunch at Founding Farmers, cornbread crumbling under forks as my agent toasted. This'll blow up. Get you on podcasts, maybe Maddow. Excitement buzzed, but so did fear. Exposure meant eyes on Marcus, the secret no longer just his. He celebrated with me that night, candles flickering on our balcony, city horns a distant serenade, steaks sizzling on the grill, red wine loosening tongues. Proud of you, he said, clinking glasses, eyes warm. We danced slow to the radio. Al Green crooning soul, body swaying, his chin on my head. But mid-song, his phone lit up. Unknown caller. He stepped away, voice dropping low. Sis? Slow down. What? Face draining color. He hung up, turning to me. Mom's old church, they're protesting the book. Called her a disgrace for raising that queer soldier. Rage flared hot in my veins, but his hand on mine cooled it. Let M. We're good. Yet sleep evaded us, his tosses pulling me awake, the mattress dipping with each sigh. The launch party loomed, a swanky affair at Politics and Prose, shelves groaning under hardcovers. I paced our living room, tie askew, nerves jangling like keys. Marcus straightened it, fingers lingering at my throat. Knocking edge. His kiss, firm, grounded me. The reading packed the house. Vets in wheelchairs, activists with signs, reporters scribbling. I read the prologue aloud, voice steady over the hush. In the foxhole of forbidden love, applause thundered, but midway, a heckler rose. Burly, buzz-cut, face twisted. Traitor, queers like him weaken us. Security moved, but Marcus was faster. Rising from the back row, presence commanding silence. I served, fought, for all of you. His voice boomed, steady, eyes locking the man's. Love doesn't weaken, it saves. The room erupted, cheers drowning the slur. Later, in the green room, he pulled me close, breath ragged. Had to. You were brilliant. Our kiss tasted of adrenaline, hands frantic under shirts till we locked the door, books tumbling as we claimed the couch. Quick, heated, his weight pinning me, gasps muffled in collars. The aftermath swelled. Reviews glowed, invites poured. But privately, the heckler's echo lingered. Marcus started therapy himself. Ironic, the counselor counseling the counselor, unpacking Baltimore scars over sessions that left him drained. Quiet. One winter eve, snow blanketing D.C. like forgiveness. We bundled in scarves, strolling the mall's reflecting pool, ice skates clacking distant. His gloved hand in mine, breath clouds mingling. Want this forever, he said sudden, stopping under the Washington Monument's shadow, lit stark white. Me too. Heart full, I kissed him, snowflakes melting on lashes. Spring bloomed with plans, foster certification classes, weekends volunteering at a youth center for queer kids, their stories mirroring ours. Hidden crushes, family fractures. Marcus shone there, big brother easy, tossing a basketball with a lanky teen named Jamal, laughter booming. Yet climax brewed in summer heat. A reunion invite from Bragg, 10-year for his platoon. Go, I urged over breakfast, eggs frying sizzle punctuating. Show him. He wavered, fork scraping plate. Old ghosts. I'll go with you. Decision made, we drove south, windows down, AC/DC blasting to drown doubts. Fayetteville hadn't changed. Same dive bar neon, same river mist. The reunion sprawled in a VFW hall, flags drooping, beer flowing. Hugs thumped Marcus's back. Sarge. Beers pressed into hands. Eyes slid to me, curious, then accepting as he introduced, Alex, my partner. A beat of silence, then claps, toasts. About time, Hale. Stories flowed. That '09 Turkey fiasco redux, toasts to fallen brothers. But late, by the bar, his old CO cornered us, breath beery. Heard about the book. Stirred shit, but good on you, son. Wish I'd said it sooner. Marcus's nod was tight, relief exhaling slow. Outside, under stars pricked sharp, we leaned on his truck, arms linked. Survived, he murmured. Thrived. My hand slid under his shirt, warm skin grounding. Homeward, the road felt lighter, secrets shed like old skin. The fire that started it all, now a steady flame, illuminating paths we walked hand in hand. 2 years in, our life wove tighter, threads of routine and ritual binding us against the fray. Marcus's VA practice thrived. Word spread among vets. His waiting room filling with men who'd stared down IEDs but flinched at feelings. I'd drop in sometimes, bringing lunch from the halal cart on Pennsylvania, falafel wrap steaming, the spice cutting through the lobby's stale air. He'd emerge between sessions, tie loosened, that tired but true smile crinkling his eyes. My hero, he'd quip, stealing a bite, fingers brushing mine sticky with tahini. Nights we'd cook together, him searing steaks on the balcony grill, sizzle and smoke wafting as I chopped cilantro for chimichurri, the tang sharp on my tongue. Wine poured ruby, glasses clinking to toasts. To us, laughter over burned edges, his foot nudging mine under the table, a prelude to later. Slow undressing in lamplight, bodies familiar yet electric. His whispers hot against my ear as we crested together, sheets whispering approvals. But beneath the domestic hum, undercurrents stirred. My book tour dragged me cross-country. Panels in LA where palm fronds rustled outside auditoriums. Q&As in Seattle's drizzle that mirrored my jet-lag fog. Marcus held the fort. Texts pinging. Miss your snoring. Bed's too big. Or photos. Him at the youth center, arms slung around Jamal. Now 16 and out to his folks. Grin wide as the Chesapeake. One call from Chicago shattered the rhythm. Midway through a signing, my phone vibrated insistent. His sister, Lena. Alex? It's Marcus.
Accident en 495.
Truck flipped. The world tilted. Pen slipping from fingers. Crowd's murmur fading to roar in my ears. How bad? Shattered femur. Concussion. Walter Reed. Come quick. Flight home blurred. Turbulence jolting like my heart. Stale cabin air thick. Hospital smells hit like punches. Bleach, beeps, fear masked in linens. He lay in ICU, tubes snaking, face bruised purple under fluorescent glare. Lena paced, eyes red-rimmed. Drunk driver. He swerved. I took his hand, cool and limp, thumb stroking knuckles scarred from bag work. Hey, soldier. His eyelids fluttered, a groan escaping dry lips. Awake. Groggy. Alex. Sorry. Shoo. Rest. But inside, terror clawed visions of sandblasts, foxholes. The fragility I'd glimpsed in nightmares now flesh. Recovery crawled, weeks in that sterile box. Physical therapy sessions where he'd grit teeth through crunches, sweat beading, curses low under breaths. I'd wheel him to the garden, chairs creaking on gravel paths, roses heavy-scented in summer air. Hate this, he'd mutter, leg embrace dependent. Weak. You're not. Kisses to temple, fingers threading hair. Strongest man I know. Nights in the Ronald McDonald house, wait, wrong. Visitor quarters, thin walls echoing coughs. We'd steal moments, his good hand pulling me onto the narrow bed. Gentle explorations. Lips trailing bandages, touches light as breath. His sighs ragged with frustration and need. Want you, he'd rasp, but I'd hush. Soon. Heal first. Discharge brought us home. Crutches thumping rhythms on hardwood. I rearranged shower bench, elevated tray, while he chafed, pacing uneven when alone. Fights sparked small. I can do it myself. over a dropped mug shattering on tile, shards glinting like accusations. "Sit down, damn it." Voices rose, hurt lacing edges, then silence heavy. Makeup came wordless. Him tugging me down beside, head on my lap, my fingers combing hair till tension ebbed, breaths sinking slow. Fall deepened, leaves crunching under his improving gait on Rock Creek trails. Therapy dog visits to his office. A golden retriever named Scout, tail wagging frenzy, lifted spirits, his laugh booming as clients opened up, pats turning to stories. "See? You're magic," I said one evening, curled on the couch, his leg propped, TV flickering some cop procedural rerun. He tugged me closer, lips brushing ear. "Only with you." Heat built lazy, hands slipping under clothes, the room warming to our rhythm. Slow grinds, gasps punctuating dialogue from the screen, climax quiet, profound. But the real storm brewed in winter's grip. Lena called again, voice trembling. Church elders cornered Mom's grave, spray-painted slurs. Cause of Marcus's lifestyle. Rage boiled, but Marcus deflated, staring at snow-laced windows. My fault. Dragged her into it. No. I cupped his face, thumbs wiping unshed tears. They're poison. Not us. We drove to Baltimore that weekend, tires churning slush on the turnpike, wipers slapping rhythm. The cemetery huddled gray, headstones stark under hoarfrost. He knelt, brushing snow from the granite, voice cracking prayers mixed with sobs. I held him, wind biting cheeks, the crunch of gravel under knees grounding. Back in the car, heat blasting, he turned to me, eyes fierce. "Fucking. We're family now." The drive home blurred to urgency. Pulling over at a rest stop, fogged windows hiding frantic kisses, hands fumbling belts, the seat reclining to accommodate. Raw reclaiming, him over me, careful of the leg, thrusts measured but deep, moans fogging glass further. "Love you," panted between, release shuddering shared. Spring thawed us further. Jamal's prom. Awkward tux fittings in our living room. Marcus adjusting bow ties with gruff advice. "Own it, kid. Dance like no one's watching." The boys' thank you hug lingered, eyes shining. My sequel book brewed. After the repeal stories of survival. Marcus contributed anonymously at first, then bold. His name in acknowledgments, photo on the dust jacket, arm around me at the mall, smiles genuine. Launch night mirrored the first, but fuller. Lena toasting with mimosas, Jamal in the front row, vets clapping thunder. No hecklers. Instead, a line snaking out the door, hands pumping mine. Marcus watched from the wings, pride swelling his chest. After hotel suite overlooking the Potomac, champagne bubbling fizz. We toasted slow, then tumbled to silk sheets, celebratory, uninhibited, him pinning wrists, lips devouring, bodies arching in symphony. "Forever," he growled mid-thrust, eyes locked, the words sealing us as we shattered together. Yet meaning deepened in quiet. Summer foster training culminated in our first placement. Twin brothers, 12, from a fractured home. Wary eyes softening over pancakes flipped with flair. Marcus teaching knots with rope from his ruck days. Bedtime stories in our guest room. Now theirs, his voice rumbling adventures till snores joined. One night, post-tuck-in, we collapsed on the couch, boys' laughter echoes fading. "This," he said, head on my shoulder, "is the mission that matters." Sigh content, hand over heart. I nodded, kissing crown. Ours. The secret that ignited us? Transformed to light, guiding not just us, but ripples outward. Families forged, walls crumbled. In his arms, with children's breaths steady down the hall, I saw the ending. Not climax, but continuum. Love enduring, electric. The twins, Ricky and Theo, all gangly limbs and gap-toothed grins, upended our world like a benevolent tornado, scattering routines into joyful chaos. Mornings morphed. Alarm blaring earlier, Marcus shuffling in boxers to flip French toast, the sizzle mingling with giggles as syrup dripped sticky fingers. More bacon, Sarge. Ricky'd holler, his freckles dancing, while Theo, quieter, sketched superheroes at the table, pencil scratches soft counterpoint. I'd wrangle lunches, PB and JS with crusts trimmed precise, while Marcus quizzed them on spelling bees. His drill sergeant bark softened to encouragement. Nailed it, troops. Carpool drop-offs at their middle school. His truck rumbling up to the curb, high fives through windows to friends waving rainbow stickers. Homecomings brought backpacks thudding, stories tumbling. Theo scored a goal. Or, Ricky stood up to that bully. Bedtimes anchored us. Marcus on the edge of their bunks, spinning yarns of paratrooper jumps over enemy lines, aka backyard forts. His voice dipping low, dramatic pauses drawing wide eyes. I'd linger in the door, heart full, the hallway light casting long shadows. Once settled, we'd retreat to our room, door clicking soft, collapsing into each other with exhausted laughs. Parenting's boot camp, he'd groan. But his hands roamed eager, pulling me atop, the mattress dipping under our weight. Nights like that blurred tender and fierce. Kisses deepening amid sighs, his fingers threading mine as I rode him slow, breaths hitching in unison, the creak of springs a private percussion. God, Alex, he'd murmur, arching up, release coiling tight till we unraveled, tangled and whispering gratitudes. But fostering's underbelly lurked, court dates in sterile rooms smelling of old coffee, caseworkers' clipboards ticking judgments. The boys' bio mom, a shadow from their file, addiction's grip, relapses chronic, hovered like storm clouds. One hearing, she appeared, hollow-cheeked, eyes darting, pleading tear-streaked. My babies. Ricky froze in the gallery, Theo's hand clenching mine white-knuckled. Marcus's jaw set granite, but his voice stayed even with the judge. They're thriving, stable. We won temporary custody extension, but the drive home crackled tension. Radio off, wipers slapping autumn rain. What if she cleans up? Theo whispered, voice small. Then we support it, Marcus said, glancing rear view, his hand squeezing my knee. Families flexible. Winter holidays tested that. First Christmas is foursome. Tree strung with lights twinkling warm, ornaments clinking as boys hung them haphazard. Paper angels from school. Marcus's dog tags looped festive. Dinner at Lena's Baltimore row house, crab cake steaming, her table groaning under sides. Toasts rang, to new branches. But under tinsel, the boys quiet, missing real mom. Pricked like pine needles. Boxing Day, snow blanketing stoops. We built forts in the yard, snowballs flying arcs, laughter echoing off bricks. Marcus hoisted Theo for a summit attack, grunts playful, cheeks ruddy. Inside, cocoa steaming cinnamon-laced, we thawed by the fire, logs crackling pops. His arm around my shoulders, boys sprawled with Hot Wheels racing rugs. That night, post-bedtime carols fading, we made love by hearthglow. Slow, reverent, him entering from behind, spooned close, hand over mouth to muffle moans as flames danced shadows on walls. Gentle rocks building to whispers of, I need you. Climax soft waves lapping us spent. Spring thawed legal knots, a supervised visit with bio mom at a park, swings creaking under hesitant pushes. She looked better, tentative hugs exchanged, tears salting cheeks. We'll see you soon, Marcus promised her, voice steady bridge. The boys chattered homeward, conflicted but clinging. My work surged. Book 2 out, panels at AWP conference in Philly, train rides rattling with ideas. Marcus tagged along one weekend, boys with Lena, hotel room overlooking Schuylkill River, lights winking. Panel over, we wandered reading terminal, pretzel salty hot. His hand in my back pocket, casual claim. Dinner at Zahav, hummus creamy, lamb charred, wine loosening to confessions. Proud how you handle this, I said, fork pausing. The boys, the visits. His foot hooked mine under tablecloth. Team effort. Back to the room. Elevator dinging floors. Anticipation hummed. Door shut. Clothes shed in heaps. Him pressing me to the mirror. Reflections multiplying our heat. Thrusts fogging glass. Gasps echoing. His name a chant as we peaked. Sliding down to carpet in laughter. Summer swelled with campouts. Boys first at a glad retreat for queer youth. Tents pitched under stars, Esmore's gooey fingers. Marcus led trust falls, voice booming, catch 'em. While I documented, camera clicks capturing bonds forming. Bonfire nights, guitars strumming folk tunes, stories shared in circle glow. Coming outs, heartbreaks, hopes. One eve, embers dying, boys asleep in bags, we slipped to the lake's edge, water lapping pebbles soft. This life's the dream, he said, arm around me, cricket chorus serenade. Kiss deepened, hands wandering zippers, but we pulled back, grinning. Not with kids nearby. Home, the call came. Bio-mom's relapse, custody hearing looming permanent. Courtroom air thick tension, judge's gavel echo final. Granted. Full adoption. Cheers choked back, hugs crushing. Lena weeping, boys beaming tentative. Celebration at our place. Cake layered chocolate, balloons bobbing. Toast sloshed. Dads. Ricky clinked glasses high, Theo sketch. A family portrait. Us 4 stick figures under rainbow. That night, boys crashed early, sugar comatose. We retreated to the roof deck, city hum below. Wine sipped slow, his head on my lap. Fathers, he marveled, voice thick. Us. Yeah. Fingers in hair, I leaned down, kiss ceiling. Inside, to bed, tender worship. Lips mapping scars old and new, bodies aligning perfect, sighs weaving vows unspoken. Pace unhurried, building to shared crest. Afterglow limbs entwined. Fall brought school routines, orientation sticky with new crayons, parent-teacher nights under fluorescent buzz. Marcus volunteered coach for soccer, whistles shrill over fields, his cheers thundering sidelines. I'd film, capturing slides into mud, high-fives muddy-palmed. But shadows crept, Jamal's crisis. Outed at school, bruises from dad's rage. Emergency pickup, our guest room bunked hasty. Stay as long as, Marcus said. Ice packs pressing welts, voice calm anchor. Weeks stretched, therapy sessions joint, his VA office a haven. One night, post-dinner chaos. Dishes clattering sinks. We 4 plus Jamal piled on the couch. Movie flickering love, Simon, popcorn kernels crunching. Laughter at awkward dances, tears at confrontations. After credits, boys dispersed. Marcus pulled me aside in kitchen, sink running cover. You're my rock, he whispered, backing me to counter, kiss fierce. Upstairs, door locked, urgency ignited. Clothes peeled hasty, him lifting me to vanity. Mirror witness to thrusts deep, gasps bitten lips. Forever, panted, release crashing mutual, foreheads pressed slick. Winter's cusp, adoption papers signed ink fresh, a family cemented, holiday cards posed. Us 5, grins wide, tree twinkling backdrop. The secret's fire, now hearth for all, warming futures bright. Yet depth lay in daily. Breakfast squabbles quelled with dad glances. Scraped knees bandaged with tails tall. In Marcus's eyes, nightly, gratitude shone. Love's quiet climax, meaningful in every breath. Adoption's ink dried, but family forged in fire bonds, not paper. tested swift in spring's capricious gales. Ricky's first crush bloomed awkward. A classmate, shy notes passed in lockers, blushes hot as recess sun. Is it weird, Dad? He asked Marcus over dinner, fork spearing peas hesitant, the clink loud in sudden quiet. Marcus paused, knife buttering roll deliberate, eyes meeting steady. Nah, bud. Love's love. Messy, magic. Just be you. Theo nodded sage, but later, bunkside, confessed fears. What if they hate me too? We tag-teamed. Me with books on rainbows and rights, Marcus with fort-building therapy, blankets draped chairs whispering safe. Jamal, now semi-permanent fixture, mentored cool. I got your back. Dance anyway. Summer scorched DC to simmer, AC groaning battles against humidity. Family vaki to ascetique. Wild ponies nickering dunes, tents zipped against mosquito wine. Days blurred bonfires crackling salt mist, esmores toasting gooey, boys whoops chasing waves foam frothed. Nights, kids sacked out, Marcus and I slipped to beach, sand cool toes, stars pricked velvet. Look at us, he murmured, arm slung shoulder, ocean hush approval. Kiss salt-tanged, hands sand-dusted wandering, but voices distant pulled us grounded, parental pull, sweet tether. Back intent, zipped close, whispers heated over sleeping forms, touches chaste but charged, sleep claiming with his breath neck warm. Work tugged divergent. My third book on queer foster journeys, interviews stacking, voices raw over Zoom, coffee cold mugs. Marcus's practice expanded. Group sessions for vet parents, circle chairs scraping linoleum as stories spilled, came out to the squad, lost half. His nods anchor, but homecomings drained him, shoulders slumped under weight. One eve, post-therapy marathon, he collapsed couch, tie askew. Boys wrestled floor, Jamal refereeing laughs. I massaged temples, thumbs circling knots. Heavy day. Saved one from the edge, he said soft, eyes closing. Echoes my own dark. Dinner shifted somber. Pasta twirling forks slow, talk turning ghosts. Remember that first bar? I ventured, sauce tangy bite. Smiles flickered, rain recall, electric graze. Bedtime tales spun longer, boys clinging extra. Then our room. Door shut, sigh relief. He undressed me reverent, lips following fabric falls, knees buckling to carpet. Oral worship, slow swirls tongue, my hands fisting hair, gasps hitching till knees weakened, release spilling hot. After, curled, he confessed, scared sometimes, failing them. Won't. Kiss temple, heartbeats drum. Fall's harvest brought milestones. Theo's art show, gallery white walls echoing claps, his canvas. Us as superheroes, Cape's rainbow hung proud. Ricky's game-winning goal, field mudcake cheers. Jamal's college acceptances, envelopes ripped glee, our toast, sky's yours. But autumn winds whipped crisis. Bio-mom's overdose news, ICU beeps over phone. Boys shattered, Ricky punching pillows thuds, Theo sketching dark swirls. Court convened emergency, our testimony voices steady. They need stability. Judge ruled compassionate contact, but supervised tight. Funeral followed, gray skies spitting rain, pews creaking mourners. Boys flanked us, hands small in ours, Marcus's arms steal around. Post-service, cemetery mud-sucking shoes, her stone fresh-carved stark. Drive home silent heavy, then diner detour, pie steaming cherry, fork scraping plates comfort. She tried, Theo whispered, crust flake falling. Marcus nodded, voice thick. Yeah, honor that. Winter blanketed solace. Sledding Capitol Hill slopes, whoops echoing snow-powdered, cocoa mugs steaming post-tumble. Holidays amplified, Hanukkah candles flickering with Christmas lights tangled, lax sizzling oil beside turkey roast. Lena's visit. Crab feast chaotic, mallets clanging, laughter drowning grief echoes. New Year's Eve, boys midnight asleep, we rooftop chilled. Champagne pop fizz, fireworks blooming dome. Resolutions, I asked, bubbles tickling nose. More this, he said, pulling close, kiss deepening urgent. Downstairs tumble, stairs creaking haste, bed welcoming. Clothes shed frenzy him over, thrust celebratory. Deep, driving, names gasped litany. Climax fireworks synced, bodies quaking, afterglow limbs lax. Spring rebounded buoyant. Boys spring break camp, buses rumbling away waves. Empty nest echo we reclaimed. Brunch languid eggs Benedict Hollandaise rich. Then homeward heat. Kitchen counter perch, his head between thighs, tongue lavish, cries echoing tile till shattering sweet. Work converged. My book launch coincided his promotion, clinic director, plaque gleaming brass. Dual party at our place. Backyard strung lights twinkling, grill smoke wafting burgers char toasts overlapped. To dads, directors, dreamers. Late, guests faded, cleanup clatter, he cornered me pantry. Door shut click, mouth claiming fierce. Against shelves jars rattling, quick fumble. Pants shoved, entry sudden slick, lube pocket stashed. Rocks hushed urgent, release bitten shoulder. Summer swelled adventures. Road trip smokies, RV rumbling curves. Boys playlists blasting hip-hop thumps. Hikes misty trails. Waterfalls roaring mist. Picnics blankets spread cheese crumbly. Evenings campfire crackles, esmores sticky. Stories spun constellations. One night, ridgetop vista, sunset bleeding orange, he knelt sudden. Ring box velvet, simple band silver. Marry me, Alex. Make it forever official. Tears pricked, nod emphatic. Yes. Boys hooped from afar, scouted, tackle hugs tumbling. Home engagement buzz. Ring sized, plan sketched napkins over tacos. Wedding modest. Backyard vows under dogwood bloom. Officiant voice warm. Rings exchanging sun glint. Vows choked. Through secrets and storms, I choose you. Reception danced lawn. Boys DJing mixes eclectic. Cake smashed faces laughter. Honeymoon postponed. Foster duties, but night of. Hotel suite Potomac view. Tuxes shed slow. Ties binding wrists playful. Love-making marathon. Positions exploratory. Size symphony till dawn. Marriage's mantle settled light. Shared taxes filed joint. Health proxies named. Daily deepened. Morning runs pavement pounding sink. Coffee sips porch swing creak. Climax crested autumnal. Jamal's wedding. His to a barista met college. Ceremony loft simple. Vows echoing hours. Best man duty Marcus. Speech rumbling heartfelt. Love's the bravest battle. Dance floor sway our family orbiting boys taller now suits sharp. Hotel after party. Us slipping away, elevator hum anticipation. Sweet door slam, gowns. No suits rumpled him pushing to wall. Knees buckling mutual, oral traded fervent. Then bed claim. Missionary locked eyes, thrusts profound. Husband gasped new title. Release sealing bonds. Meaning unfurled winter quiet. Holidays evolved traditions. Boys input cookies iced messy. Gifts wrapped paper crinkle. In Marcus's arms, fire crackling, progeny slumbering. I traced his ring. Secret spark, now constellation guiding. Life's drama, ours, scripted heart deep. Ending not fade but flourish. Love's legacy, eternal. Wedlock's glow lingered like afterimage, tinting mundane to magic. Grocery runs with cartwheels squeaking aisles. Marcus's hand basket hauling brushing mine deliberate. Checkout beeps punctuating inside jokes. Boys, now teens lanky, voices cracking octaves. Teased relentless. Dads, get a room. Over breakfast cereal crunch. But eyes sparkled approval. Bonds iron. Work's tide swelled mine. Book tour redux, airport's terminal drone. Hotel beds starched lonely. Marcus FaceTimed nightly, face pixelated grin. Boys aced midterms. Ricky's dating girl steady. Pride swelled, but ache gnawed distance. His voice tinny anchor. One stop, San Francisco fog rolled. Panel on queer lit. Applause fading to bar haunt. Castro's neon pulse. Drinks clinking rainbow crowds. Flirtations brushed. Easy smiles. Touches lingering. But loyalty's tether snap taut. Text to him. Miss you. Home soon. Return greeted airport curb. His truck idling rumble. Kiss thorough amid honks impatient. Homeward. Hand thigh high. Heat simmering. Boys out. Sleepover duffels thumped. House empty echo. Door shut decisive. Kitchen claim. Counter lift. Legs wrap waist. Entry swift prepared. Thrusts counter-rhythmed. Gasps echoing fridge hum. Missed this? Groaned. Release shuddering shared. After slumped laughs. Falls frenzy. College apps looming. Essays typed frantic keys. Marcus proofreading red pen marginalia. Theo's portfolio, art evolved abstract emotions. Gallery scout buzz. Ricky's game nerves. Bleachers creak cheers our throats hoarse. Crisis crash Thanksgiving Eve. Jamal's call. 2 a.m. ring insistent. Dad? Crash. Ben's hurt bad. Heart sees Marcus bolting upright. Lamp flick harsh. Our wait fluorescent buzz. Coffee vending scorched. Ben. His husband. Pale gurney tied. Ribs cracked. Concussion fog. Jamal paced vinyl squeak. Tears tracked. Drunk teen swerved. Boys roused. Piled in later. Hugs silent support. Ben stabilized. Discharge limped. Our guest room rehab. Soup's simmered broth. Game's board flip distraction. Marcus shouldered heavy. Drives therapy. Voice comm queries. Nights. Post tuck-ins generalized. We'd unwind tub steam. Water lapping ripples. His back to chest. Hands soaping slow circles. Sighs unwinding knots. Love-making water slosh gentle. Fingers probing. Then shift straddle. Rocks languid building to whispers crested. Winter thawed to spring renewal. Ben's recovery jogs park paths. Arm sling swinging sink. Jamal's thanks dinner. Grill sizzle steaks. Toasts sloshed gratitude. Boys bonded deeper. Ricky volunteering shelter. Theo murals community. My keynote invite. Lambda Lit Awards NYC Gala black tie shimmer. Marcus tucks sharp. Bow tie crooked my fixed fingers lingering throat. Limos hum traffic. Red carpet flash blinding. Speeches eloquent echo. Win announced. Best memoir. Stage lights hot. Acceptance choked. For Marcus, the boys. Love's true narrative. After party jazz trumpet wail. Dances swirled. Balcony escape. City sprawl twinkled. His arms waist cinched. Deserve it. Kiss deepened. Stubble rasp. Hands suit jacketed wandering. Hotel ascent elevator mirror gazed. Door keycard beep. Bed claim. Ties unbound wrists playful. Oral lavish traded. Then prone deep. Thrusts galley euphoric. Names moaned litany. Climax confetti internal. Summer's idle. Europe backpack. Boys passports stamped eager. Paris croissants flake butter. Rome fountains coin toss wishes. Venice gondola rock gentle. Marcus's whisper ear. Our story here. Nights hostel bunks creak shared. Post kid snore. Touches muffled blankets. Climaxes hushed gasps. Fall pivoted poignant. Ricky's acceptance. UCLA. Dad's alma nod dorm packing boxes tape teary. Airport goodbye hugs crush. Plane roar swallowing waves. Theo's senior year theater lead. Rehearsal stage lights glare. Our front row claps thunder. Jamal's news. Pregnancy surrogate. Due winter. Aunt Alex, Uncle Marcus? Grins wide. Nursery paint rollers swish pale blue. Thanksgiving redux intimate. Table smaller echo, Lena's yams candied sweet, toasts future-flavored. Post-feast walk leaf-crunched, boys absent but present stories. Winter's gift. Ben and Jamal's baby, girl, cries lusty room warm. Hospital hold tiny swaddle, Marcus's eyes mist grandfatherly. Home christening brunch, mimosas bubble, vows godparent earnest. New Year's reflective. Rooftop chill, resolutions murmured windswept. Grow old with you, he said, ring twist habit. Inside warm, champagne fizz, love-making years turn. Slow tantric edges teased, bodies oiled glide, peaks delayed exquisite till shattering synchronized. Spring's bloom. Theo's graduation cap toss confetti, speeches valedictorian proud. Party backyard lanterns glow, dances father-son sway. College-bound fall, nest emptying gradual. My sabbatical proposed, novel fiction, queer military romance veiled hours. Desk setup nook, keys clacking dawn, Marcus coffee delivered steam, kiss forehead fuel. Summer's empty amplified echoes. Travels couple only, Key West sunsets coral bleach, snorkels reef vivid. Beach bungalow, waves crash lull, days nude lazy, nights deck lounger. Oil slicked skin, oral sunset painted, then missionary stargazed, thrusts wave rhythmed, release cosmic. Fall nested new, Ricky's holiday visit, Tales Cali sun, Theo's dorm tales psych major. Dinner's boisterous overlap, laughter table shaking. Crisis subtle, Marcus's checkup, prostate shadow, biopsy needle prick. Weight fogged anxious, walks park gravel crunch therapy. Results clear, benign sigh collective. Winter deepened bonds. Baby niece visits, coos burble, Marcus's rockabye rumble. Holidays multi-gen. Lena's, Benjamal's, chaos joyful, carols off-key, gifts paper-rip glee. Climax crested spring, our 10th anniversary, vows renewal backyard dogwood same, officiant same, rings re-exchanged sundapple. Dinner intimate oysters pearl, then sweet. Blindfold silk, senses heightened, touches featherlight, tastes wine lingering, sound size amplified, penetration blind ecstasy, peaks blindfolded intense. Meaning crystallized summer quiet, boys calls frequent, lives launching orbits hours. In Marcus's gaze, decades distilled, secrets ember, now sun sustaining. Life's arc, dramatic denouement ongoing, love's plot, twists embraced, ending infinite embrace. Decades mark past, time's river carving canyons deeper, our love's banks steady hold. Boys, men now, trailed independent. Ricky's engineering startup Silicon Sun, visits venture pitches over craft beer's hop bitter. Theo's gallery opening Soho lofts, canvases bold emotion, our walls adorned acquisitions framed pride. Jamal's family swelled, niece toddler stomp, brother on route ultrasound glow. Grandparent teases Marcus playful, pops hail, diaper changes grimacing laughs, bottles warmed microwave hum. Work evolved mine. Novel dropped bestseller whisper, tours lighter load, home desk favored. Marcus's clinic legacy, mentorship program vets turn therapists, graduation's robes tassel swing claps. Daily tapestry wove richer. Mornings yoga mat unroll sink breaths, coffee porch dew kiss. Evenings walks Georgetown cobble clack, hands linked casual conversations layers peeled onion. Anniversaries mini-marked, 15th, Baltimore Harbor revisit, crab boils steam spice, boat rental waves rock gentle. Remember first rain? He mused, arm waist, salt breeze tousle. Couldn't look away, kiss deck lanterned, heat familiar flare. Night's bedroom sanctum. Candles flicker shadow dance, massages oil slick glide, transitions seamless. Fingers probes tender, Mouths worship mutual. Unions varied. Side saddle whispers. Reverse cowgirl grips. Climaxes choreographed years practice. Afterglow talks dreams deferred. Challenges crept age grace. Marcus's knee twinge old injury. PT sessions foam roll grown. My vision blur specs updated. Readings lamplit closer. Fights rarer, softer. Over thermostats click or remote hunts. Resolutions couch cuddle. Makeup sex reconciliatory. Slow forgiveness. Thrusts apology deep. Releases healing. Grandkids arrival. Nephew chubby-cheeked. Auntie duties Theo's art classes finger paint smear. Family reunion sprawl. Beach Outer Banks dunes wind-whipped. Volleyball nets spike laughs. Bonfires emberglow tales tall. One summer squall. Lena's health dip heart flutter. Hospital beeps monitor. Vigil shared. Boys flown urgent. Hands clasped waiting room vinyl stick. Recovery ward flowers wilt edge. Her weak squeeze. Proud of my boys all. Falls foliage fire. Novel sequel brainstorm. Co-write tease Marcus journal entries weave. Winter's mild. Ski trips aspen powder crisp. Lodges fire roar cocoa steam. Crisis shadowed spring. Theo's diagnosis depression clinical. Therapy couch recline. Our support shuttle sessions DC traffic snarl voices gentle probes. Ricky's cross-country drive solidarity. Hugs airport terminal echo. Marcus shown anchor. We got you, son. Group hikes trail mud therapy. Talks brook babble open. Summer healed. Beach retreat collective. Waves therapy crash. Sandcastles moat dig resilience. Falls pivot. Retirement whispers Marcus clinic handover smooth. Travel dreams itinerary scribble. Mind sabbatical extended. Columns op-ed punch. Winter's hush. Holiday montage. Grandkids squeals toy unwrap. Carol's harmony off. Feasts table grown. Climax intimate. Vow renewal silver. Beach dawn. Officiant wave roar. Barefoot sandworm. Rings sea polished. Vows evolved. Through decades drifts. Anchor you. Honeymoon belated. Italy villas olive grove. Pasta twirl fork. Ruins echo history. Night's terrace star canopy. Wine velvet. Lovemaking lunar. Positions acrobatic age defied. Gasps wind carried. Peaks eternal. Post-return. Routine re-embrace. Volunteer queer center. Stories circle shared circle. Boys milestones. Ricky's wedding sunset vows. Theo's exhibit MoMA nod. Grandkids school milestone. First day's backpack stuffed. Drop-offs tear prick wave. Aging's grace. Silver threads hair Marcus comb finger. My laugh lines crinkle his trace.
Sex evolve d'art. Tantra breaths unite, egele specs, intimacies verbal vaus.
Legacy bloomed. Scholarship fund vets queer. Names etched plaque shine. Book foundation tours schools. Dialogues bloom youth. One eve. Porch swing creek dusk. His head lap rest. Best plot twist you. Couldn't look away. Kiss crown. Fireflies blink chorus. Years unspool golden. Travels bucket checked. Japan cherry blossom drift. Africa safari dust red. Home hearth central. Dinners grandkids chaos. Stories lap perched. Health hiccups minor. Checkups routine. Walks pace slower but shared. Final chapters hint. Wills drafted joint. Adventures logged journals leather-bound. Meanings core. Secrets ignition. Careers forge. Love's enduring blaze. Hot no more end, but illuminate. In twilight's hush, arms entwined. River life flows. Dramatic, emotional, profoundly ours. Ending, not closure, but crescendo infinite. Two hearts, unbreakable gaze.